All right. So originally, this was going to be a video talking about the defense and how recently it has been said that we basically have a top 10 defense, which is surprising. So I was doing research trying to find some stuff for that video, and I came across basically our whole statistics, the whole team statistics for the whole year. This is basically averaged out, the whole Packers average for the whole year versus the whole every opponent we faced. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of scratch that video for now, and I want to talk about the whole team here, and we're gonna break this down. We're gonna see how accurate it feels, watching versus there's writing down notes, and then there's actually watching people do stuff, like MVS. You can point out MVS. Sure, he's dropped a lot of balls, but the reason they love him so much is because of his blocking down the field. And if you go back and watch his film, he shows up, but that doesn't really show up on the stats. So starting out at the top, total first downs. We averaged more than our opponents this year at 358. Now that seems right. Our offense for pretty much all 17 weeks was cooking. I mean, our offense was like they I didn't even have to worry about them at all. With Aaron Rodgers back there at QB, I mean, you don't have to worry about it at all. Yes, you can say, oh, we didn't have wide receivers, blah blah blah, all that. But as long as we have Aaron Rodgers back there, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, first downs again. By rushing, passing. Penalty again. Look at 28 by penalty. How many of those were offsides that Rodgers got? Passing again. We were. I don't want to say we're top heavy passing, but we passed. I don't think it says on here, but it feels like we passed doubled. Yeah. Almost. Wait. Hang on. Well, I guess that's not really the stat I'm looking for, but it feels like we were more so passing than we were running. Obviously, we had some big runs by Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, even A.J. Dillon against the Titans. So, I mean, that makes sense that, it'd be more so passing than rushing. And our opponents didn't even break 200 for passing. Again, our defense... this right here, our defense, a lot of offsides, and especially in the past, 5 weeks? I mean, Zadarius Smith jumps offsides a lot. Preston Smith had it a couple of times. I mean, these penalties by penalty, the 29 right there is, you could say maybe 3/4 of that is coming within the past quarter of the season. So, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. We got to clean that up, but I mean, we're still winning games. So, yes, we're giving them first downs by penalty, but it is what it is. We're winning games. So, third down conversions, 89 out of 180. I didn't do the math for a lot of these, so I don't know what the percentage is, but that's probably roughly 60-70%, somewhere there. Here, I'll do the percentages for this one right here real quick. I'm guessing that's between wait, what? 50%? That can't be right? Above 50%? Well, half of 180 is... Oops! Oh, whoa! That's the wrong number. No, I get not. Wait. Yeah, that's half of 180 is 90. Yeah, so I guess 50% on third down conversion. Yeah, I can see that. Defense. I mean, that's probably 45% right there from defensively. It's surprising if you, especially this one, if you look at how Pettine runs this defense. And how we play off on third down so they can just get a little, slant route or something right there for the first down. I'm surprised it's less than 50%, honestly. If you look at the way we have played on third down, we tend to play back. So it's like we're waiting for a big play to happen on third down when they, 95% of the time they're just going to go for the first down, especially when it's like 3rd and 1. So, I mean, that's a little shocking, but our defense in the past 5 weeks has kind of tightened up. So next, fourth down conversions. Who I think it was the Bears we played, and that's why this is so high, because the Bears had, was it 4 first down conversions in week 17? I think. I mean, they could have probably had 5 or 6, honestly. That's so. I mean, we're giving up a lot of first downs there. For us wise, I mean, 13 out of 21. I mean, we didn't go a lot for it on fourth down, really. I mean, obviously 21 times in 17 weeks. So, I mean, we don't normally get to fourth down, I guess I could say. Because normally, we're getting first downs and first 3 downs, or, we're just kicking a field goal because we're in field goal range on fourth down. So, I mean, that makes sense. But again, within like week 17, it was like 4 or 5 that the Bears converted. So, I mean, in 1 week, we gave up, 4. Otherwise it'd probably be like 10 or 11, honestly. Total offensive yards. Oh my God. Again, offense is not the problem. We were cooking. I mean, we could have deep balls. I believe MVS was in, I think it was like the top 5 or top 3 for catches down the field of 20 plus. So, I mean, we could go deep and get a bunch of yards. I mean, we could throw little dump offs, and sometimes they work. Sometimes screens don't work for us. So, I mean, offensively, I mean, this makes sense. 6,224 offensive yards in the regular season. Just, it makes so much sense. And we let the opponents score basically 1,000 less, 900 basically, than us. And I mean, our cornerbacks, we played good. Cornerback wise, I think this was probably the highlight of our defense, honestly. Everything else, needed work, but we slowly got better. Snacks, Damian Harrison was a big help getting snacks, basically for only week 17, but now we have him for the playoffs, so he's gonna help up front. With Kenny Clark and all that. This might go, if obviously this is regular season, but if they added on to postseason, I mean, I could see this staying about 1,000 apart, maybe a little more depending on because our defense has again stepped up a little bit recently. Offensive plays averaging 6.3. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Outside of the bubbles, I mean, Rodgers is probably throwing 5+ yards down the field outside of the bubbles. So that makes a lot of sense. If you really think about it, really look into the games. And then we are letting opponents 5.5, and they're about the same number of plays. I know there was it 2 games where I want to say it was the Colts and the Vikings the second time around where we just really didn't do anything on offense, and we just kept giving the ball back so that they had more time to do plays. So we would go 3 and out, and then they would just go down the field. So that makes sense here for plays. 5.5 sounds that sounds about right. Again, we don't let big shots down the field, like 20 plus. I don't even think we're in top 10 for allowed for that. But they're getting plays 5+ yards down the field, but it's not like deep shots where we don't allow a lot of those. So that makes sense. Yeah. Next, total rushing yards. 2,118 between basically 3 running backs. And A.J. Dillon pretty much only played 1 game. So, Aaron Jones, probably what? Well, he had his longest of 77 against, I think that was Detroit. First time in Lambeau. So that was early in the year. And then Jamal Williams had some big gains. I'm recalling the one against Tampa where I believe it was like a 30-yard gain or something like that. So I mean, we do have some big rushing yards plays. Um, I mean, again, the offense, offense is just cooking. That's all it is. Rushing for opponents, 1,805. Well, okay, we I can't say we held Derrick Henry in check, but if you go and look, we were in probably top five, maybe even top seven, for least amount of yards allowed. I think it was the Browns allowed. I think it was like 60 some yards, and then the Jags in week one allowed like 55, 60 yards. But or not, sorry, week two. Excuse me, week two, because they played the Colts in week one. But obviously, week one, week two, early in the year, you're not going to see a lot of big plays, because you still got to get your footing early in the year, especially with no preseason. So, let's see. Outside of King Henry, Dalvin Cook twice a year, and he ran all over us that second time. David Montgomery, second time. I mean, the second time against the Bears, we did okay. He had that one big pop against us, literally the first drive. What was that, week 12 or whatever, in Lambeau, and then they stopped feeding them the ball. So, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We did go up a lot of rushing yards. Alvin Kamara, I think, yeah, because we didn't play Nick Chubb. Who else would be up there for running back? I'm blanking out on someone. I know I'm blanking out on someone. But we didn't have a lot of top tier running backs. Yeah, I forget how the Jags rookie did. He might have done pretty decent against us too. Is it James Robinson? I believe is the rookie. I believe he did pretty good against us too. So again, it makes sense. We were, especially earlier in the year, we were letting up a lot of big plays on runnings. So then. Rushing for plays and average yards, 4.5. I'm starting over here. 4.5 per average per play, and then 397 rushings. Yeah, because I mean, obviously the Vikings and the Saints come to mind. They ran a lot on us. Alvin Kamara even little dump offs to. Alvin Kamara too, with that one big play where we couldn't tackle, but that was not rushing. That was passing. So, again, I mean, outside of that, again, like I said, the Bears just stopped using David Montgomery that first game after he had that big run against us, and then again, we haven't really played too many other top tier amazing running backs. So 4.5 sounds about right. And then on 379 down plays, yeah, again, because people just kind of stopped running. It seemed like it's especially the Bears. Now the second time around, again he wasn't averaging, 20 plus or not. He wasn't averaging 7-8 yards a carry against us, but I mean he was getting 4 or 5 yards a carry. So David Montgomery, against us in week 17. So I mean he wasn't getting too many touches, but he got more than the first time around. Then. Well, do I? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can touch upon this. Again, this is 4.8 is kind of we had a bunch of big plays, so that really helped. And we basically 50 more, 60 more, probably 55 more plays compared to our opponents. Yeah. We did try to run a lot more. Sometimes it got stuffed, and then we just go right back to the run, which made no sense, but it is what it is. But 4.8 sounds about right, because, again, we did have a lot of big runs from our 3 running backs, basically. Then total passing yards. I think this is supposed to be... I think this is a defensive stat. No, never mind. Never mind. I don't know what I was thinking. This is just passing. Yeah. We only had So basically a third of our total offensive plays was running. So yeah, I mean this, yeah, especially because Adams had what was it, 5 straight games of 100 plus, and then you factor in everyone else catching the ball too. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I can't say we threw a lot more than we ran, but when we were throwing good. We were doing really good throwing, so that makes a lot of sense. It's 2/3 of our total offensive yards. As for opponents, yeah, basically 2/3 too there. Again, it's shocking that this was basically a third of their total yards rushing wise, and if you watch the film, it feels like flip these two stats. Like that's what it feels like if you because again, it feels like our corners have been playing well. Again, you could probably say because third downs we play off, so you get some basically free yards from that. I can't think of anyone outside of that Kamara play where we let someone go for a big yardage gain. And there's probably someone out there that I can't even think of right now, but I can't think of anyone. So to be 2/3, I guess it has to be just little dump off plays and then shedding the first tackler. That's what it has to be because we have had troubles tackling. So that's the only thing I can think of because I can't think of any deep balls that we've given up. Because Galladay was last year. Maybe Justin Jefferson and Adam or Adam Thielen, maybe. Maybe I don't know. I can't can't think of anyone. Then we'll go passing completion, attempt, interception, average. Rodgers with that 5 interceptions on the year, just insane. We averaged 8.2 yards. That's pretty good. Averaging 8.2 is pretty good. Completions and attempts. Drops. Even outside of MVS too. It's just bad drops. I think they also count when you throw it away. I think that's also counted. So throwaways too are in there because I think that is a stat that's counted on it. So that's not it's not bad. It's basically 150 more, about around there. So it's not bad for dropped or thrown away passes. Interceptions, just 5 on the year. That's a good stat right there. From opponent wise, 190 incompletions. That's better than us. This is what. Yeah, about 150. So 190. That's pretty good. 11 interceptions. That's that's pretty good. They don't really go over. Yeah, they don't really have fumbles on here, but I think we've had 10 fumbles I think on the year or something like that. Like that we've gotten at, I should say, that our defense have gotten. We've had some fumbles on pretty much special teams is what killed us with fumbles. So that really hurt. But interception wise, 11 on the year. It's pretty good. Averaging 7.1 yards. I can't. It's got to be those medium throws that are getting to us because I can't think of deep balls that are just I can't think that we got beat back there because I if you look at film I do think that our corners are probably the best part of that defense. So it's got to be kind of where those middle linebackers are and not middle linebackers but where the linebackers are in there and they're just beating them. That's the only thing I can think of because it's hard to think of deep balls. Unless it was someone like Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson against the Vikings, obviously Kamara, but that was a little dump off. So, we do leave the flats open. We do leave the flats open a lot. So I guess, yeah, I get it's probably from the flats from playing off on third down. So again that makes sense because I can't think of where we got beat deep. I can't think of that. So sacks. Oh my God, 41 sacks in the year, and our opponents averaged 21. There was I think a 2 game stretch where the Rodgers didn't get sacked once. That was like week 14 and 15 or something like that. Towards the end of the season. Week 17, Khalil Mack got his first sack since 2018. That's pretty good, holding Mack in check. They've, pretty much everyone on the line has been down and out for, if not, half a game, a game. So I mean, we our line did really good, and like Elton Jenkins, where he could play any position. Just I mean. He's good. This is his second year, so and the fact that he played all 5 positions on the line, and I think he's maybe only allowed 5-6 sacks on the year. I think so. It's just our line has just been pretty good. So to let up only 21 sacks on the year is, that's pretty good. And then we've gotten 41 now. During the year, you have this whole narrative, I should say, of, we can't get pressure on the QB, they're sitting in the pocket for a long time. 41 sacks says differently. That says differently. And if we had QB hits, I feel like that would say a little differently too. Yes, our pass rush hasn't been there consistently, but as you can see by the stat, we are getting sacks. So, oops. Oh my God, come on. Okay, there we go. It wasn't working there for a sec. Again, there was this whole narrative that we weren't getting sacks, weren't getting pressure. But again, if they had pressure on here, had QB hits on here, I feel like, we'd be okay. Now, I think the leader who was it Pittsburgh and is it the Rams are the top 2? I think they have like 60 sacks. So we're right in the middle of the pack basically for sacks. But again, we don't have 21. we're not bottom of the barrel here. So that's fine with me. And then again, we just got snacks added in for week 17 in the playoffs. So he's gonna help a lot too when he's in there. Then field goals. 16 of 16 by Mason Crosby. That's pretty good. Because has he missed a field goal? Or I'm sorry. Wait, no. Oh, I'm thinking extra points. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm wrong stat. I'm thinking of extra points. They don't have that on here. Field goals. Yeah, that makes sense. Mason has just been pretty much hitting everything this year. Opponents wise. There have been 3 misses, and I cannot think of who that's been. I don't know. But the fact that there was 27 attempts means that our defense is bending and not breaking. We're holding them to field goals. That's what this means. 27 attempts. That means we're not letting them score touchdowns. That's a good thing. We bend, don't break. That's basically, what the defense has needed to do. Our offense has just been firing in all cylinders. Our defense, again, as of late, has been really good. Earlier in the season, again, they were bending, but they weren't always breaking, and that's perfect stat right here to show that we're holding them to 3. Then we're not letting them get 7. So if we were ever down and they get 3, the offense can go down, get 7, either tie up the game or lead in the game. So that is really good right there in the end. 16 to 16 for Mason is pretty good. Extra points. I feel like he missed an extra point or 2. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Well, I probably go look at Mason Crosby. We'll look at all stats here in a minute. Touchdowns, 66 on the year. I want to see. Hang on, I want to see what that average is for 17 games. I just want to see that real quick because that's. Oh wait, hang on. That's averaging 4. 4 a game, pretty much. Little well, 3.8, but it's basically averaging 4 a game. That's pretty good. We have set a Packers record of most consecutive games with 4 touchdowns. We just did set that this year, so I mean that's basically 4 a game is pretty good. And then I mean 42 on the year for basically allowing on defense. Again, it helps. It could have been a lot worse, but the fact that we held them to 27 field goals and there's only 42 touchdowns on here, pretty good. I mean, Bucks game, Colts game. You can point to the second Vikings game, but again, we almost came back and won that game too. So, I mean, and I think Cook had like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns that game too. So, but I mean, 42 is fine. That's fine with me. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we have had. Oh, yeah. We'll start over here. So we've had 16 rushing touchdowns, 48 passing touchdowns. That's yeah. Devontae has, what is it, 17, I believe. 16 or 17 he has. There's been no kick returns. Our special teams has been terrible. Again, fumbles. Colts game, just in the Bears game with Tavon Austin, which it was basically his first or second punt return of the season. So, he's still got to get his footing a little bit, but our special teams has just not been good. We've allowed 2. And then we've had 2 defensive touchdowns. One was against the Lions. I remember that because that was, who was it? Savage intercepted it and basically rolled in the end zone. And then, who is the second one? Because this is not safety. It's not Kirk Cousins week 1, where Jair got a safety on him. Who is our second defensive touchdown? Oh, Preston Smith. That's right. Preston Smith against the Bears, the first week 12 or whatever that was again. Yeah, okay. Yep, that makes sense. And then again, opponents 16 rushing, 23 passing. Again, it feels like it just feels like our corners are, our passing has been better. If you watch the games, it feels that way. You can't. This is stats, so this is basically facts because this is people writing down the plays. So, but it just the way it just feels like this could almost be flipped. But we're holding them to 3. So again, it's just, I don't know. It feels weird that our run defense is actually. On stats here on paper, they're actually looking, better than our pass defense, which is kind of crazy. We do have 2 returns. The Jags and was it the Colts? I think. I don't remember that. I don't remember that second one. I remember the Jags one very well. I don't remember the second one. Defensive touchdowns. Yes, Aaron Rodgers threw a pick 6 against Tampa. That's the major flaw of this year from him. But he's still MVP despite that. It's one game. They look at all 17 games. Where was it? Total. Actually, let's go passing. 4,000. It's pretty good. Then average time of possession. Yeah, I feel like it could be closer because again during the Vikings game the second time around they took a lot of clock off and I think they had half of the first quarter was their time of possession and then we took up the other second half. I think. Oh, Bears week 17. Yeah, they had that. I think it was the second or the third drive. They had like a 7-minute drive or something like that. So yeah, that adds into it. The fact that we have I feel like this should be like a 2-minute difference because again, it feels like they've had opponents have had a lot more longer drives and we've had kind of smaller, quicker drives. But it's adding up because again, 66 touchdowns. So, but it's close. It's basically, 4 or 5 minutes apart. Um, so, it is what it is, but I guess it feels closer to me, especially because, again, there have been teams that have gone down and done, really long drives. Um, but, I mean, 5 minutes plus is that's not bad. And then turnover ratio. We're +7. They don't even have this is basically -7 here for opponents. Again, Rogers has thrown 5 on the year and the regular season. So and we've gotten 11. That's this factors in fumbles too. And I mean, obviously they don't count the special teams. Well, I guess it doesn't say, because it doesn't say like offense or defense. So I guess they would count special teams. Yeah, okay, so maybe they would count it. But we've lost, I know, like 2 fumbles. We had a fumble. We lost a fumble against the Colts too. Both. Well, we fumbled and then they threw a pick. Yeah, but I mean, for a lot of games, turnover ratio, it's just been a lot of interceptions. Again, 11 interceptions in 17 weeks. That's basically one for every game except for 6 games. So I mean, that's really good on the year for turn. That's just blows my mind. That's +7 is just really good. Now I want to see if I can pull up Mason Crosby here. I just want to look at extra points real quick. Special teams. Yeah, 1 yard shy of 4,300 yards. Kick returns. Yeah, they don't have. See, it's. Yeah, they don't have extra points. See, like, this is, again, if you're 1 to 19 yards, 20 to 29, 5 or 30 to 39, and 40, 49, and 50 plus. He's 4 for 5. I mean, be at 50 plus. I think he was that a career high when he hit one of his 50 pluses? I think it was like 54 yards or something like that. Was his career long? So that's pretty good too. But they don't have extra points on here for, I don't know why. But I think he missed 2 extra points on there. Yeah, and Darnell Savage is 4 interceptions on the year. I think 3 of them came against the Bears both times. But yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of different people. Raven Green, I thought he had 2. He's been playing out of his mind recently. Yeah, and then Amos had 2. Whew. Yeah, 47. I remember that one against the Bears in Week 17. Yeah, tackles. I think they have sacks here. Yeah, look at Devontae. Oh, I'm sorry. I said 17. Actually, it's 18 touchdowns. Excuse me. Tanyan. This could be a whole video too. All his stats, and they put. Was it? I forget the. I want to say Ebron, but I think Ebron is wrong. Whoever that Giants tight end, they put him over Tanyan. I mean, Tanyan is looking, amazing. So the fact that he's not in the Pro Bowl with these kind of stats for a tight end is pretty amazing. Rushing, Rogers is on it. Yeah, he's been rushing pretty good too. Yeah, and then 1,100 yards for Aaron Jones too. I mean, that's again this is his career long too. 77 yards is career long. So I mean, just looking at stats overall. I mean, like I said, I've talked about stuff where it feels weird saying that we've given up a lot more yards on defense, but it has to be the flats, those flat routes. So I'm comparing to rushing. I mean, we're 2/3 of it is passing, which is just crazy. The way we've looked with our running game, our running defense. So that is the video. I'm gonna have a breakdown of who is the biggest threats to the Packers in the playoffs. That'll be coming out tomorrow on Friday. I'm sorry. Today's Wednesday. Excuse me. Oh, was I gonna put that on Friday? Oh, I forget. And then the other day I am gonna have. I think we'll do the ranking. Maybe I'll do the rankings video on Friday. So tomorrow, yeah, Thursday will come out, and I will do all 13. Well, not. I'll do all 6 of the teams in the NFC that are, and then rank them from the biggest threat to the least threatening for a Super Bowl run. And then Friday will be a whole NFL rankings. That'll be my one for the end of Week 17, and then obviously the top 14 teams are going to be playoff teams. So everyone, 15 to 32 is going to be teams that just, are in the draft. So look forward to that. Again, Saturday and Sunday, I am probably going to stream games. So look forward to that too. I don't know what one's going to do. We'll see. This, that Titans-Ravens game is going to be pretty good. I might think about streaming the Browns and the Steelers. Washington football team and Tampa, that could be a really interesting one to stream too, because like I've stated in the video, I think that was yesterday, talking about how this could be a really an actual wildcard game where Tampa could upset. So there's going to be a couple of really good games this weekend, and I'll see what I'm going to do. I'm thinking I'm going to stream both days. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Let me know, what do you think of Packer teams overall? Obviously, this is stats right here. What surprised the most? I think what's surprising the most is just the total amount of passing yards we've allowed. That's a big shock to me. What is least surprising? I think that's the interceptions. And like the video, share the video around. Don't forget to subscribe, and we are out of here. Peace.